Hello and welcome to ThePrint. This is Bidisha and you're watching Economics. India has just taken one of its biggest steps in labour reform in decades. A reform that doesn't just tweak old rules, it rewrites them. On the 21st of November, the Government of India announced a historic move. The government has consolidated 29 central labour laws into 4 comprehensive labour codes. The Code on Wages, the Industrial Relations Code, the Code on Social Security, and the Occupational Safety, Health and Working Conditions Code. These codes are scheduled to come into effect from 21st November 2025. This is not routine housekeeping. This is a major redesign of how India regulates work, workers, and workplaces. Let's start with the problem India lived with for decades. For years, India's labour laws looked like a maze. 29 different central statutes, written in different decades, often overlapping, sometimes contradicting each other. Imagine running a modern economy with 29 instruction manuals, none aligned, many outdated. This confusion discouraged formalization. It made compliance expensive for businesses. And it left most workers, especially in the informal sector, without meaningful protections. The new labour codes tried to fix exactly this. So what do the codes actually do? First, the Code on Wages brings all the wage-related laws under one umbrella, universalizes minimum wage, and strengthens equal pay for equal work. Second, the Industrial Relations Code modernizes how employers and workers negotiate, how disputes get resolved, how layoffs and restructuring are handled, and how unions are recognized. Third, the Code on Social Security creates a broader framework for social protection. And for the first time, it actually provides a pathway for gig and platform workers to be included in future social security mechanisms. And fourth, the Occupational Safety, Health and Working Conditions Code. This sets clearer workplace safety standards and shifts towards an inspector-cum-facilitator model aimed at helping establishments comply, not just penalizing them. 4 codes, 1 framework, a major cleanup of India's regulatory landscape. Now the question is, why now? Why this moment? Because India's labour market is changing, and it's changing fast. According to the provisional estimates from the Ministry of Labour and Employment, using a combination of administrative data sets and RBI series, employment appears to have risen from about 48 crore in 2017-18 to roughly 64.33 crore in 23-24. A net increase of nearly 17 crore workers. The estimated unemployment rate by the same methodology has declined from around 6% to about 3.2%. These numbers require careful interpretation. They are constructed from multiple sources and are not from a single nationwide survey. But the direction is clear. India's workforce is expanding, shifting, and diversifying. And when an economy changes this quickly, its regulatory system must keep up. Now, what does this exactly mean for businesses? For decades, businesses, especially MSMEs, have struggled with multiple registrations, multiple returns, multiple inspections, and conflicting interpretations of the law. The new codes promise a simpler, more unified compliance regime, including the goal of single registration, single license, and single return. The key word here is promise, because the real impact will depend on how states implement these systems. But if executed well, this could significantly reduce compliance friction and encourage formalization. Now the question is, what does this exactly mean for workers? For workers, the potential benefits are huge. clearer wage rights, better workplace safety, more portable protections, and for the first time, recognition of gig and platform workers within the social security framework. This doesn't mean every benefit arrives on day one, but it finally creates the legal foundation to build these protections in the years ahead. But, and this is very important, laws alone don't really change the reality. Implementation is the real test. Labor is a concurrent subject, meaning state governments must build digital systems, inspection mechanisms, registration platforms, and administrative capacity. Unless states move in sync, the codes may remain codes on paper. There is also a cultural challenge. India's labor markets have long run on informality. Informal contracts, informal negotiations, informal trust. Shifting millions of employees and workers to a formal, documented digital system won't happen overnight. It requires awareness, it requires training, hand-holding, and time. So where does India stand right now? India has taken a bold and necessary step. The labor codes aim to build a labor market that is both flexible and fair, a balance every modern economy needs. If India wants to make the most of its demographic dividend, if it wants to attract long-term investment, if it wants to climb global value chains, it needs a labor framework that rewards productivity and protects workers together. The labor codes attempt exactly that. They move us away from the old debate of pro-worker versus pro-business. Because in reality, sustainable growth requires both. The consolidation of 29 central labor laws into 4 modern codes is not just legislative streamlining. It is an attempt to bring India's labor framework into the 21st century. The step has been taken, the direction is clear. Now the challenge is to make this step a stride.